If everyone becomes a creator, who will do the actual work? My friend, the answer lies in the question itself. If everyone becomes the creator, we are already seeing it that the work is actually done by AI. When we talk about work, we essentially mean boring work. What I mean by that is filling data in sheets, DMing someone for taking an update on something, editing a video, making a collage, making an ad, this, that. But now with the advent of AI being so widespread as it is, people are essentially moving towards an era where they are not paid on the basis of how well they design something or how well they create something, because AI can create it better. And if we are saying that a human produces an output of 10, AI is at least at 8 or 9. And if we talk about efficiency, the equation entirely changes, because AI can create hundreds of ads, creatives, videos, this, that at a click of a button in probably a few minutes. For doing the same work, a human being might take at least a week to create 100 videos or whatever. Now we have established कि यार सिर्फ काम करने से कुछ नहीं होता. तो what do we get exactly paid on, right? If work is not the output everyone is looking at because AI is producing it, what are we exactly getting paid for? We are getting paid at this point for two things. Now let me explain. Human beings nowadays are getting paid for trust and for distribution. Let me explain. Arjun is an architect who has 5 to 6 years of experience in the architecture field, but also has 10,000 followers on Instagram where he creates content about architecture. Now there is another guy, Vipul. Vipul has been an architect for 20 years. He has a lot of experience under his belt. उसके पास बहुत सारे projects हैं दिखाने को. He has a big portfolio of glamorous clients, this and that. But he does not have an Instagram, and on LinkedIn वो congratulatory post करता है लोगों को, सबको congratulate करता है comments में, right? He is the professional congratulator as we call it on LinkedIn. Now tell me, if a recruiter is looking at hiring them, who would they pick? A lot of you would say Vipul. Why? Because he has a lot of work experience. But we have to remember that Arjun is out there. So first of all, the chances of a recruiter looking at Arjun, coming across Arjun, and his chances of getting work from anywhere have significantly increased. Why? Because he is in front of people's eyes. People who are interested, recruiters especially, right? Recruiters who are interested in hiring an architect will come across a video from Arjun on their feed, and they might come across him. Then they might like the content, they might see the credibility if Arjun has built his content well, and they might actually go ahead and hire him. To find Vipul, you have to wait for Vipul's application first of all. If Vipul does not, you do not see Vipul, right? If you are in front of a lot of eyeballs, even as a job professional, right? Someone who does a 9 to 5, the chances of you getting more opportunities significantly increase as you build a following online. तो यहाँ तक हम समझ गए कि distribution अगर होगा तो आप ज्यादा eyeballs के सामने पहुंचेंगे. If you go in front of more eyeballs, you'll get more attention. If you get more attention, you'll get more opportunities. Very simple equation. The second thing that is, as of right now, very irreplaceable is trust. What do I mean by that? Let's take an example of Sara. Sara is a new age founder who has a clothing brand who makes streetwear, and she also has a following on Instagram, 25,000 followers on Instagram, where she creates content about fashion. For her to launch a fashion brand and make it successful is significantly easier than Vimla. Who is Vimla, you might ask? Vimla is a fashion designer who has been in the field for 10 years and she wants to launch her own clothing company, this and that. But again, Vimla has a private Instagram with 200 followers. She launches a product and then spends hell lot of money on ads, this and that, and the product eventually fails because it was not a good product or it was not the product market fit, this or that. But more importantly, Vimla did not have the trust of 25,000 people that Sara had. You have to understand that people don't buy from ads, people don't buy from the cool Instagram posts that you did, you fucking social media managers. They do not buy from all of that. They only buy from people. People buy from people. And then there are two types of credibilities. Now, if you buy a Tata car, you buy a Tata car because someone told you a Tata car is good. You saw a review that said Tata car was good. Your favorite YouTuber also posted a video saying the Tata car was good, and then you bought a Tata car. You have such a massive brand that after a point, your brand itself becomes a seal of trust, like it did with Tatas. Now you buy anything with Tata printed on it. Why? Because you admire Tata, you have seen their products, it has been a legacy company, blah, 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 blah. If you have a social media following, if you are a creator who is a professional as well, who is maybe a professional fashion designer, you already have a credibility which is owned. Why? Because you have followers on Instagram who trust you already with whatever work you do. If you launch a product in your niche, if you're a fashion designer, you launch a fashion brand, you launch some clothes, merchandise line, whatever, your chances of getting that particular product or a business successful are significantly higher than someone who does not have a personal brand. I think the future of work looks something like this. There will be something called the hybrid worker. Hybrid workers will be the people who not only are good at their job, who are good at their whatever work they do, but also have some sort of social currency. They might have a LinkedIn account which is good, they might have a blog that is good, they might have an Instagram which has fucking 25,000 followers or whatever. They have something that builds trust, and more importantly, something that already has distribution. So they will be doing their full-time job, but also be creating content on the side about the full-time job. And you know why only these people will survive? Because all the other people are doing the same job, but they don't have the leverage of a social currency. They don't have eyeballs which pertain to their business. They don't have a community of people who are already interested in what they do. Now really think about this scenario. Arjun and Vipul both are skilled at the same level, but one has a social media following and another does not. Who do you think will get hired? Of course Arjun, because he has owned credit. Fuck you. Of course Arjun, because he has owned credibility. Vipul on the other hand, very good at his job, but very replaceable. You know why? Because what Arjun does can also be done by Vipul. But what can be done by Arjun and Vipul can also be done by an AI agent. If not now, in the future for sure. Another thing that comes with trust is the trust added to your company. If you are working at a company called Coconut Company, there is a coconut tree there. If you're working at a company called Coconut Company, and if you're creating content about coconut, say you create content about making coconut water delicious somehow, the chances of getting hired at the coconut companies increase significantly if you have a social media following. Why? Because your trust factor, the trust you build, the credibility you build, will be transferred to the company as well once you get hired by them. And you might say, "Aisa kuch nahi hoga, this is a stupid idea." All the ads that you see with celebrities on them, right? Ajay Devgan doing the Vimal ad, Shah Rukh Khan doing the Elaichi ad or whatever he does, Priyanka Chopra doing the Elaichi ad. All these people are essentially doing only one thing, transferring credibility by attaching their name to a product that can be sold. You do not need to become a brand ambassador or a brand face to a company. If you have a social media following, you already take that trust with you everywhere you go. You already take that credibility with you everywhere you go. And the hardest thing I have learned about building a business is to build trust, credibility among your consumers. So you're transferring all of that credibility to your company. Now imagine how valuable you are to a company if you build in the right space, if you build content in the right space, if you build a credibility, if you build a community of people who are interested in your ideas and the thing that you do at work. Now let's talk about what can you, as someone who is watching the video, probably going into the workforce soon, or someone who is already into the workforce, can take out from this video. What you can take out is you should start creating content. Now it is not a general piece of advice for everyone, because if you want to be a raw officer, creating content might actually be, slightly counterproductive. Because intelligence and secrecy and spy and all that, Dhurandhar dekhiye na. But more people than not can actually benefit from building a social media following. You don't have to dance on trends, you don't have to do stupid challenges of fucking eating golgappas and shit. You just have to talk about what you already do to attract a set of people, your tribe, who are already interested in the subject you are a professional at, you are good at. Now listen carefully. I'm not saying build a following. I'm saying build a community. A community of like-minded people who are interested in your ideas, in what you do, who will add to your trust score, social credibility. If you have a certain amount of trust online and if you have a certain amount of distribution online, you are in a very good position to first of all get hired, recruited by a lot of companies. But more importantly, you are in a very good position to sell the skill that you are already doing directly to people who need it. And where do you find these people? Remember the person brand that we built. Those are the exact people who will buy this service or product from you. If we simplify this idea a little more, you are essentially building a future customer base who already trust your face, which means who already trust your brand and are also extremely likely to buy your product or service. Why? Because they have already consumed your content. They already have a need for what you produce. So there is demand and you can supply. And this will also answer your question of why will someone buy anything from me? Why? Because they already trust your face, they already trust your ideas, your capabilities, your skills, because you have shown them online, you have created content around it. So people know you're good at something. The trust is automatically built, the demand is there, the only thing left is to supply. And then obviously you are the supplier. And to supply something, you will charge a certain amount of money, and that is the money you will make from your personal brand. And that is how powerful the idea of hybrid creators is. And that is my answer, my perspective on if everyone becomes a creator, who will do the actual work. To summarize the entire thing, if everyone becomes a creator, the actual work, the boring work, the behind the scenes work will be done by AI agents who will get advanced every single day. AI will be the worst it is currently. Every single day, every single AI model is improving because they are compounding on their own knowledge and the shit that you feed it. So they are getting better and better every day. And we'll eventually come to a point where all the boring work is automated to AI agents, and the only thing that is left to people is build credibility and trust of a company.